So here I'm told that Jean invests £12,000 in an account paying compound interest for 2 years. We're told that in the first year the rate of interest is at X%, and at the end of the first year the value of Jean's investment has gone up to £12,336. We're then told that in the second year the rate of interest has changed and it is now X over 2%. And we're asked what the value of Jean's investment is at the end of the 2 years. So I know I'm working with compound interest, and initially that's making me think that I'm going to be working with some kind of decimal multiplier here. And if we're told that the rate of interest in the first year is this X%, I can rewrite this as a kind of decimal multiplier that gives me a value of X%. So if it's been an increase of X%, we can see that the number has gone up from the first year to the second year. We need to take the value of 1, so 100% of this first value. And then we need to add on X%, so X over 100. And that's going to give me a decimal multiplier, which takes us from the first value in the first year to the value at the start of the second year. So I can use this to set up an equation. We have this original 12,000 and we need to multiply this by something, which in this case is the multiplier, 1 plus x over 100. And then that gives us this second value here of 12,336. Now I can just solve this equation to find x, so I can divide both sides by 12,000 to give me 1 plus x over 100 is equal to 12,336 divided by 12,000, and then that gives me an answer of 1.028 to just a few decimal places there. I can subtract 1 from both sides to give me 0.028, and then I can multiply both sides by 100, and that gives me an answer of x being equal to 2.8 here. So we've solved this to find the value of x, which is the rate of interest. Now to go on and find the end value at the end of this 2 years, we need to work with the rate of interest in the second year. So we have this x over 2%. We have x, so now if I'm going to find x over 2, that gives me an answer of 2.8 over 2, so that's an answer of 1.4% increase on the value at the start of these 2 years. Because we're working with compound interest, this 1.4% interest is going to be on the value at the end of the first year. So I can take this 12,336, and now I need to have a percentage increase of 1.4%. So I need to multiply that by 1.014, that percentage multiplier here, decimal multiplier. So we have this 1.4% and this 1, this initial value, because we've got this increase. And this is going to give me a final answer for the value of the investment at the end of the 2 years, and that is going to come out as £12,508.70 here as my final answer, and that is going to gain me the marks for this question. So as for how each of them were awarded, the first mark is for starting a process to find this rate of interest for year 1, so setting up this equation here would gain that mark. A second mark is for a complete process to find the value of x, so the rate of interest, getting to this value of 2.8. And a third mark is for finding the value at the end of the 2 years. So this step, these 2 steps here, taking us to the final answer. And then the final correct answer here is going to be given, the mark's going to be given for the final correct answer that we have here. But it could be in the range of £12,508.70 to 71p. So we've got that 1p range, or depending on how we rounded our values throughout the question, the answer of £12,509 could come from the correct working if we've just rounded this a little bit differently.